Welcome to Awake and Activate. Today we're going to talk about secret societies. We're going to go through the top 5 groups. The Illuminati, a movement of free thinkers that were the most radical offshoot of the Enlightenment, whose followers were given the name Illuminati. It was founded on May 1st, 1776 by Jesuit taught Adam Weishaupt. This group is now known as the Bavarian Illuminati. While it was not legally allowed to operate, many influential intellectuals and progressive politicians counted themselves as a member, even though there were some known Freemasons in the membership. It was not considered to be endorsed by Masonry. The fact that the Illuminati did not require a belief or a supreme being made them particularly popular amongst atheists. This, and the fact that most members were humanists, is the reason for the widespread belief that the Illuminati wants to overthrow organized religion. Internal panic over the succession of a new leader and government attempts to outlaw the group saw to it collapsing early in the late 1700s. Now they've argued that the Bavarian Illuminati survived, possibly to this day, though very little reliable evidence can be found to support the idea that the Weishaupt's group survived into the 19th century. Next we have the Freemasons. The Grand Masonic Lodge was created in 1717 when 4 small groups of lodges joined together. Membership levels were initially first and second degree, but in 1750s it was expanded to create a third degree, which caused a split in the group. When a person reaches the third degree, they are called a Master Mason. Masons conduct their regular meetings in a ritualized style. This includes many references to an archaeological symbol such as the square and compass. They refer to God as the great architect of the universe. The 3 degrees of Masonry are, number 1, the entered apprentice. This makes you a basic member of the group. Number 2, fellow craft. This is an intermediate degree in which you are meant to develop further knowledge of Masonry. And number 3, a Master Mason. This degree is necessary for participating in most Masonic activities. Some rites, such as the Scottish Rite, list up to 33 degrees of membership. Masons use signs and handshakes to gain admission to their meetings, as well as to identify themselves to other people who may be Masons. The signs and handshakes often differ from one jurisdiction to another and are often changed or updated. This protects the group from people finding out how to gain admission under false pretenses. Mason also wears stylized clothing based upon the clothing worn by stonemasons from the Middle Ages. The most well-known of these is the apron. In order to become a Mason, you must generally be recommended by a current Mason. In some cases, you must be recommended 3 times before you can join. You have to be at least 18 years old and of sound mind. Many religions frown upon membership of Masons, and the Roman Catholic Church forbids Catholics to join under pain of excommunication. Okay, now that brings us to the Order of the Skull and Bones. The Order of the Skull and Bones, a Yale University society, was originally known as the Brotherhood of Death. It is one of the oldest student secret societies in the United States. It was founded in 1832, and membership is open to an elite few. The society uses Masonic-inspired rituals to this day. Members meet every Thursday and Sunday of each week in a building they call the Tomb. According to Judy Schiff, the Yale University Library, the names of the members were not kept secret until 1970s, but the rituals always have been. Both of the Bush presidents were members of the society while studying at Yale, and a number of other members have gone on to great fame and fortune. The society is surrounded by conspiracy theories. the most popular of which is probably the idea that the CIA was built on members from the group. The CIA released a statement in 2007. This coincided with the popular film The Good Shepherd, in which it denied that the group was an incubator for the CIA. The Knights Templar is a modern offshoot of Masonry and does not have a direct tie to the original Knights Templar, a religious military group formed in the 12th century. Members of the Masonic Knights Templar do not claim a direct connection to the medieval group, but merely a borrowing of ideas and symbols. In order to become a member of this group, you must already be a Christian Master Mason. This organization is a direct one and is not just a higher degree of Masonry. Despite Freemasonry's general disclaimer that no one Masonic organization claims a direct heritage to the medieval Knights Templar, certain degrees and orders are obviously patterned after the medieval order. These are best described as commemorative orders or degrees. Nevertheless, in spite of the fraternity's official disclaimers, some Masons, non-Masons, and even anti-Masons insist that a certain Masonic rites or degrees originally had direct Templar influence. And lastly, we're going to look at the Bilderberg Group. No famous members, but attendees have included Ben Bernanke, the royal families of Spain and the Netherlands, World Bank officials, and representatives from major corporations. The Bilderberg Group is not a secret society per se, but it does operate under very similar veil of mystery, which has made it a subject of countless conspiracy theories and criticism. The group was started in 1954, and since then it has convened every year as an exclusive invitation-only conference of various world leaders, captains of industry, and media moguls. The group was originally started as a means of addressing a streak of anti-Americanism that was spreading through Europe following World War II. But over the years, it appears to have morphed into a more broad discussion of reaching mutual understanding between cultures. The Bilderberg Group has become controversial for one key reason. No press is allowed in the conference, and no significant details concerning the topics discussed are ever officially released to the public. That kind of secrecy, along with the intense security of the meeting sites, which often feature armed guards, police, and even fighter jets patrolling the skies overhead, has produced a number of conspiracy theories centered on the conference. The most popular is that the group tries to steer the direction of public policy, financial markets, and media in a certain prescribed direction of their choosing, perhaps with even the goal of forming a so-called one world government. These claims have been brushed aside by the group, which claims global understanding and the end of nuclear proliferation as its main goal. The Illuminati, probably the most famous secret societies. This was a group based on the principles of enlightenment and the sworn enemy of the church. Supposedly, all the Illuminati were persecuted and executed, but we all know the truth. They're still here. As was showed earlier is this chart, this bloodline of 13 families who are directly related to the Illuminati. As you can see, each name on this chart would be families who have went through for centuries the rites and rituals to become part of these secret societies. Many of the names on this bloodline chart are very familiar to us even today. I also wanted to bring this graph back up. As you can see at the top it says Illuminati, and then in each box it has different branches or different areas of how the world is organized today. Take some time and pause this if you need to take a look at each section and each compartment to see how this mechanism of control over the population can be installed and implemented in today's society by using the television, media, radio, frequencies, sounds, events, you name it, you could find it in one of these compartments, in one of these groups of how to go about to press forward with an agenda that is made in secret, then to manifest out onto the world stage. As we can see, each of these different societies that we brought up have a level system. But what they do to keep us in confusion is that some endorse religion while others do not. After all, you cannot be of the Knights Templar unless you are a Christian Mason, Master Mason. But at the same time, in Freemasonry, the Catholic Church, if you are involved, will actually excommunicate you, therefore keeping some confusion going on within these groups. Although they are deemed as separate, we need to look at it from the perspective of they are all actually tied together. And together they form the one group that operate in the oneness with the one agenda, separate by how they call themselves and different rules and regulations that they allow the population to know, but actually moving in the same direction in lockstep with one another. And let's not forget about the Committee of 300. Here is an example of the level system that each level pertains to and how that it impacts each of our lives. Once we have woken up and have the awareness, nothing forged in secret can have any weight or bearing on our lives anymore. And I also want to point out that each of these levels, that if any of them was to crumble or not operate in the correct manner as the committee has forged for them, the entire plan will fall. It will crumble away. One thing that they use is money. Money is the tool in which they use in order to force their plans that they've made in secret upon mankind. Well, we're at a precipice. We're at an amazing time to wake up to anything that's forged in secret, to take things back into our own hands, and therefore no longer being subjected to any outside influences, and have everything that is within bubble to the surface, because everything we need, after all, is within each and every single one of us. As we just went through 5 of the different secret societies, seeing the similarities in the level system, and also seeing the similarities when looking at the Committee of 300 with all of the different levels and the activities that happen within each level, we can see the similarities within each of them. Although they're deemed separate from an observer's point of view at the base level, we can see how they are all interwoven and connected. Always, the source information used for the article for this production is in the description box. Please use your own discernment and become the awakened, divine, sovereign, totally conscious with everything that you are able to do and how you interact with this space in which we inhabit. Become the divine sovereign that we're all meant to be, to bring about something beautiful and wonderful that is beneficial for all mankind, laying aside any kind of differences and appreciating the uniqueness that we each have to offer to one another. No longer will we allow divide and conquer to separate us. No longer will we allow fear to be the narrative in which we follow, but actually replacing it with unconditional love and in the brother and sisterhood that we actually are. Always remember to share what you know and listen so we can grow. Again, use discernment. and study. Look more into any topic that is presented to you and enjoy life. You are, after all, the hero of your own story. I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Peace.